It was completely predictable that Republican Senator Ted Cruz's approval rating was going to fall among Democrats and among left-leaning independents after he, in a completely, I don't know what he was thinking, but actually, I do know what he was thinking. He fled with his family to Cancun when the power went out in his home state of Texas. And what he was thinking was quite clear, which is, I want to have power. Let's go somewhere where it's warm and there's power. That's exactly what he was thinking until it completely blew up in his face. And so we were expecting that his already low approval among Democrats and left-leaning independents was going to fall. But Ted Cruz's approval rating has collapsed 20 points among Republican voters. And this is really a signal of the worst situation for Ted Cruz since he took office in 2013, quite frankly. According to a Yahoo YouGov poll, 24% of voters approve of him overall and 49% disapprove. That's a net approval of minus 25 for Ted Cruz. But that's overall. And when you look at the Republican numbers in a Morning Consult poll, Ted Cruz is at 53% approval among Republicans. That's down 23 points from January. On January 9th, after the Trump riots, 76% of Republicans supported Ted Cruz, and that number is now down 23 points to 53% Republican support for Ted Cruz. Nearly half of the Republican Party does not approve of Ted Cruz, and that is absolutely stunning. Ted Cruz's approval was already sort of on the decline in January. If you go back to December, you see that in the period from December 27 to January 5, Cruz's approval was 81% among Republicans. Then January 6 to 9, the immediate aftermath of the riot, he was down from 81 to 76% approval among Republicans, and then now 53% approval among Republicans. Now, for us, the unfortunate reality, and it's been a reality that's much bigger than Ted Cruz for a long time, Ted Cruz isn't up for re-election until 2024. He just won in 2018, 6-year terms for senators, up again in 2024. That's an insanely long amount of time for this to have any effect electorally. I know that we can hope that voters will remember this in 2024. I think it's just too long. The circumstances in 2024 for Ted Cruz are going to be far more dictated by what's going on at the time. Is Trump the Republican nominee or not? Other factors at that point. And if this were to have an effect, it would be getting Ted Cruz to resign now. There seems to be no chance that that happens. I've seen no indication whatsoever. No reason to think Ted Cruz is going to resign over this. The way out of Ted Cruz as a senator in Texas is to register new voters and to get out the vote. It's not to convert existing Republican voters. What we've learned many times is that if you rely on Republican voters to remember the horrible things that their elected officials did, you don't win. It's just not a winning strategy, is what we've learned over time. Ted Cruz will have a bounce back. He has now 4 years to start getting on all of the tired tropes of we've got to fight socialism and the debt is a blah, 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 all that stuff. He'll have a bounce back. There will be some, tragedy of some kind that will allow him to talk about how the left wants to take your guns. And if he wants to be reelected, he almost certainly will, if we leave it to Republicans in Texas to decide and remember the things he did. The way to defeat Ted Cruz is to get out the vote and to register new voters. And if this reelection campaign for Cruz were maybe in 2022, there'd be more of a shot at the Cancun fiasco having an impact. If it were 2021, it would be even better. But the cautious optimism for 2024 is that Cruz did only defeat Beto O'Rourke by a small margin, about 51 to 48 in 2018. If the election were now or in a few months, and we were hammering on get out the vote and registering voters, I think Beto O'Rourke would have a real shot at defeating Ted Cruz. 4 years from now makes it more difficult to predict, but let's prove ourselves wrong. If Ted Cruz is going to be defeated on 2024, it will be because of the campaign that we mount then. We saw the model in Georgia with Stacey Abrams and registering new voters, Joe Biden winning Georgia, 2 Democratic challengers in the Senate in Georgia, defeating 2 Republican incumbents in Georgia. So it can be done. We've seen the playbook. Simply waiting for the Cancun fiasco to affect Republicans 4 years from now. That's not the winning strategy. I'm open to having my mind changed, but I've seen no evidence that that's the way to win that seat back. Let's face it, most healthy snacks don't taste that good. They don't fill you up. They don't really satisfy your cravings, which is why you should check out Monk Pack, today's sponsor. Monk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars taste like your favorite delicious sweet snacks, but each bar has less than 1 gram of sugar, only 2 to 3 grams of net carbs, and they're just 150 calories. These are perfect for a keto or low carb diet or anybody who wants to cut back on sugar. Flavors include caramel sea salt dark chocolate, and peanut butter dark chocolate. That's my go-to. I love the Monk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars because they're just a good balance of sweet and salty, soft and chewy, and a great crunch from the nuts and seeds. And they will give you all of your money back if you don't love them as much as I do. Go to monkpack.com. The link is down below, and they'll give you 20% off when you use the coupon code Pakman.